Coming at you from Summer Rain Studios. It's the latest episode of Rage Across the Internet. I'm your host, Porter. To my left, we've got producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
And to my right, the one and only Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
How we all do today?
Pretty good.
I am much better now that you didn't do some stupid making fun of me thing for the intro. It's been a while.
So
He invites it.
Yeah, I think we do.
Oh, damn it. I had to open my damn mouth.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
We should run it from the top.
We should.
You know, I think I am. I'm your host, Porter. To my left is producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
And owner of the littlest pet shop, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
I hate you. Hey, everybody.
How we all do today?
Better now.
Yeah, I feel better now, too.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's okay.
Your pain just makes us stronger.
Oh, great. Jesus Christ.
So here we are. Another pretty gorgeous day. Looks like fall's starting to teach us about temperatures, but we're sneaking by, so that's pretty great. Mm-hmm. And by the time you guys listen to this, we got Halloween just days away.
Right.
So I hope, even with everything going on, you guys are doing something cool for the season. You know, get some friends together, do a marathon thing. If you got a party to go to, be safe, but hey, have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and, speaking of, we got a little something going on our Discord.
Yes, we do.
And I thought we'd bring this up at the top.
This is going to be cool.
Well, as you guys know, we have a couple games that run out of our Discord, and we're going to have one out of our forums soon.
That's neat. I want to see how that one goes.
Yeah, that's it's you see, this is breaking news for Danny. I didn't tell him about this.
Wow.
Yeah, but in fact, it might
have started by now.
It might have. I doubt it, but it's possible.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're doing that.
I'm looking forward to reading that.
But Echoes of the End, one of our Discord games run by storyteller Sean.
Yes.
Is holding a moot that he's invited everyone to.
Okay.
Just everyone.
Yeah.
the players of the other game, those players are invited. You know, just everyone in the Discord. If you're listening to this right now,
you're invited.
You're invited. You can hop onto our Discord, which you can get to through our forums at rageacrosstheinternet.com, and join us. And that's Sunday.
I thought it was. It's either Halloween night or the night. No, it was the night before.
It's the night before, so it's
it's
Friday.
Devil's Night. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's Friday night.
All right, yeah, so that'll be this Friday night, the 30th, which is not tonight. It's the future.
It is the future for us.
Yes.
Future.
And hopefully it'll be the future for the people listening, too.
That'd be weird. I mean, I guess they can download this whenever. But so
if you're listening and it's too late for you, sorry about your luck.
If it's still 2020...
Sorry about that.
And it's October, and it's not the 30th yet, you're invited. if you're tuning into this on Halloween, you're no longer invited. You can't come, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bummer.
But it should be fun. Various people tell us, we've been invited to participate. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be telling a story in character during the Songs and Stories portion of the Moot.
Do you know who your character is going to be yet?
I'm not talking about it.
Oh, you're surprising everyone.
Yeah. Or I don't know yet.
Well.
or you don't know. Okay, I'll take that one.
Little A, little B.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
Yeah.
I'll come in as character. I doubt I'll be telling a story. I think enough Daniel Tyson / Hunter stories have been told in this podcast with embarrassment. So
come on.
Yeah, come on.
We're doing it.
Everybody's doing it, Danny.
Right.
Here comes the peer pressure.
I mean, I can't promise anything.
We'll be your friend.
Oh, now?
You can be
now you
it.
will? Great. Now I'm definitely doing it.
You can be part of the cool crowd.
Best friends, come on, high five. I think it broke my headset. Creep. No, but it should be a good time.
Well, yeah.
You know.
This is... Even if I don't tell a story, or if I do, it's still going to be very cool to see a moot this size. And look, everyone can be... everyone's social distance this way.
Yeah, it's true. And it's... Yeah, I know he's got plans. He's got some, events. I don't know the specifics, but... Mm-hmm. it should be a great time, and we'll probably post something on the main site. Yeah. In terms of narrowing down the times, because I don't know that offhand. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Right. So we can always make a post.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
But
Facebook or forums will have it. The website will have it.
But we bring this up because, we'd love for people to show up and have a good time.
Yeah.
But also, we thought it would be a good idea to do an episode on Moots, seeing as that's the coming event.
The topic du jour.
Right?
The weekly theme, huh?
Why not?
Okay.
Like that. It's a Moot time, You can have your own Halloween Moot after the Moot on Devil's Night.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very cool.
I like it.
This is Moots aplenty.
So what is a Moot?
Well, a Moot... a Moot's sort of, it's, I guess, as a meeting in the simplest terms. Mm-hmm. Is, Seps hold Moots usually on the monthly.
Yes.
And there are different kinds of Moots, but we're at the base fuck version right now. And they're sort of like part town hall, part boardroom meeting, and part church.
Okay.
Depending on your tribe?
No, just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah, maybe depending on your cairn then.
Yeah, you have to... how literal you take that, that right. Does. Because, Glasswalker is usually literally in a boardroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's to catch each other up on what's going on, to make plans if necessary, and to recharge the spiritual energy of the cairn, which is vastly important.
Air any grievances, make any challenges.
Oh yeah. That's your business portion, but there's a lot more to them, and there's different kinds of moots. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and you start out with just your sept-wide moot.
Right.
And that's like...
That's the one that's usually monthly, on the full moon, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily on the full moon.
Not necessarily, but
on
more often than not.
Well, it depends.
It depends on...
Depends on a lot of things. Depends on the sept, depends on the totem.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's a big part of it. But, that's vital for recharging the cairn's energies, for keeping it powerful. You skip a moot or two. And I don't mean like your character wasn't there for a moot. I mean, if the sept skips a moot or two, the totem reacts.
Oh.
Yeah, rolls get harder. The gauntlet starts to increase.
And hell, it can get so bad that the totem can abandon the cairn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's bad news.
Yeah. So it's not to be taken lightly.
And I think I read in one of the books you have 5 months at max leeway time before you have to start doing heavy duty rituals to keep the totem there, and one of those is the rite of cairn building.
Oh,
it can get that bad,
and that's a big deal itself.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the sept moots and the cairn moots. What other kind of moots are there?
Well, yeah, okay. It's a good question. You've got a grand moot. And grand moots are those are tribal specific.
Okay.
And again, all moots discuss, sept or tribal business. Grievances and shit. That shit happens with all moots. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But, this one is, the difference is this is tribal specific. So whatever someone's up to, that's...
Okay. Now, so if they have a tribal moot, I know that, you're supposed to attend if you're of that tribe, but is there a geographic, hey, I can't get there, or I didn't hear about it till it was too late? Or it's just be here or fucking else?
Well, I think that depends on who you are.
Okay.
Depending on the tribe, you mean?
No, depending on who you are.
Oh.
I don't think that Echo Punches the Mountain is going to be missed at the next Grand Moot in, Frisco.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I don't think anyone knows who she is.
Okay.
True Silver Hills, however...
Better be there. Okay, so our anonymity and our lack of renown actually works in our favor.
Right.
To a certain extent.
Now, that's to say that you could show up. You certainly couldn't bring, Blood Hunter.
Right.
You would be unwelcome.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
Kicked out of a Child of Gaia mood. How does that feel?
Thanks. I'm okay with it.
I'm sure you are.
Right. So,
stop leaning on stereotypes, man.
I didn't say a stereotype thing at all. What are you inferring?
I'm inferring
what's in your heart?
That you lean on stereotypes. That's what
I don't understand. I don't even know what that word means.
Okay.
I have a stereo. Is that what?
What kind of what type of stereo is it?
Oh, it's Sony, I guess.
Okay, the next type.
Yes, sorry.
Of mood.
Oh, those are constellations.
Okay.
And yeah, that's probably the next step up. And these happen every few years or so.
Okay.
These are multi-tribal deals. They're led by the Silver Fangs. And it's kind of like they discuss the state of the affairs of the nation. You hear major grievances.
Okay, so like the entire nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and obviously they don't expect the entire nation to be there.
That was gonna ask, but like probably your major ranks.
Yeah, there's a level of expectation.
Well, and the one piece I did notice about that is when they call one of these, it takes 5 elders from 5 different tribes to be represented.
Okay.
So
that's a necessity?
That is a necessity. That is one of the qualifiers. Like, you have to have an elder from 5 different tribes. All agree that they need to call this, and it has to be for a certain purpose.
Okay.
And it's in a specific geographic location, like North America.
Okay, so like neutral ground for everybody.
Well, like the European Garou are not expected to come to the North American.
That was my next question. Yeah.
And we're not expected to go over there. But if you're in North America...
At that time,
you better be there.
That sounds fair.
And again, in a case like you guys, your lack of renown, you can probably get... Should you know... But I mean, you're like...
but if we don't show up, no one's going to give a shit.
People who know you might give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, the difference is, you know, your lack of notoriety plays to your advantage if you want to lazy out of something.
Right.
It's still ill-advised because someone knows you and someone knows you weren't there. And if there's an axe to grind, who knows?
And, like, there's 3 months. It is held exactly 3 months to the day that those 5 elders decided to hold it. And during those 3 months, messages are sent out to be announced at monthly sept moots.
Okay.
So
warning everyone, hey, it's almost time.
Right. It's not like, hey, everybody, Tomazzi's was doing this.
Yeah, it's like...
Tomazzi's?
Hey, yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy. It's these local slang. I can't help it. It's not my fault.
No, it's like, hey, you remember in 2 months. Hey, remember in 1 month.
Right.
Hey, you better be there. And the problem with these is that they leave cairns unguarded, basically, because they're relying on the kinfolk and the spirits.
Which is maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons that is argued for not holding them.
Well, I think at that point there should be a... and this can happen in your games. I don't know what, you know? Mm-hmm. But, you know, I talk about how your lack of notoriety doesn't make you exempt, but makes it easy to go under the radar. Maybe they should leave certain people in a sept there just to have some boots on ground.
Right.
To go defending. To go Silver Star Pack. You guys are great and all, but you're not coming.
We'll bring you back notes.
Yeah, you know, we'll get you a t-shirt.
But yeah, t-shirt? So like...
You're wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, but I went to the Moot. Why didn't I get a t-shirt?
You have a t-shirt. It says Rage Across the Internet on the bottom, and it's got the logo.
You like that?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool shirt. Where'd you get that?
Oh, ragecrosstheinternet.com.
Hey, that's awesome. Anyway, so you were saying, Joey.
But yeah, so like they
Shameless plug.
They have like a list of pros and cons, and the reasons to hold it have to be more important than, you know, the problems that could arise.
Right, and I think that's something that's important to bring up, as you say, you know, it's got to be more. Reasons have to be more. Nothing minor happens at these.
No.
You know, we talk about airing grievances and talking about news and stuff, and that happens at all moots, but this isn't the time to go, Timmy stole my juice box.
No.
This is not the place for that shit.
No, this is like a threat to the nation.
Yeah, right. You know, it's... If it's going to be a grievance like that, it's going to be something more along the lines of, hey, Bloodhunter murdered my father.
Yeah, that's a grievance that would be aired. But
no juice boxes.
You're damn right I did.
But if there is a larger conspiracy of the worm that's been uncovered,
absolutely,
that can be addressed during this type of thing. So that's where you get into the larger plots in these moots.
Yeah.
Well, it's also worth noting that that the constellations are the type of moot where a silver pack is created.
A silver pack.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, the silver pack, I should say. The silver pack. There's only one at any given time. And there are trials to join the silver pack, who are, brought together under Phoenix as the pack totem to fulfill a certain purpose. And it's always large, something of great import. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of that is you do these trials, and at the end of the day, they enact a rite, and there's a little, for lack of a better term right now, like a gate of fire they have to walk through, and Phoenix chooses who is worthy to be a member of the silver pack.
I'm so intrigued right now. This is so cool.
I mean, it's something that, again, there's only one at any time.
Yes.
And it's, again, they're not here to solve the juice box issue.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No,
it's and they're formed for a certain purpose.
And once that purpose is over, they're disbanded.
However, not only can they be formed, but they can be renewed.
That's true.
Ooh.
So you're like, hey, we're not done yet,
And, maybe renewed, it deals with a roster change.
Yeah, yeah.
That's up to Phoenix, frankly.
Right.
I was going to say, that's the totem's decision.
But again, you think about that too. That's part of what makes the silver pack so special. Is Phoenix chooses you. Mm-hmm. You don't get together and say we're going to be a pack and do a totem quest. Phoenix says I'll take this one, and this one, essentially.
And there could be 20 that decide to walk through that gate, and Phoenix is like, no, I want these guys.
And here's the thing of that:
3 of those 20.
Well, probably pick 5. Yeah. But here's the thing: of those 20, there were probably 200 that tried out. That didn't make the cut to the final.
Honor.
Yeah.
That sounds like a huge honor. Just the name alone, just like, ooh, my eyes are huge right now. Clearly.
They're also up there, Joey.
Fuck you.
Could you draw me a map? I need a map.
You got it, kiddo. But I have to have a pen.
No. Pencil only.
I forgot everything I was going to say. Move on.
Okay. What I liked was they gave an example why one of these constellations would be called, and it was the stargazers leaving the nation. Many constellations were called to address this one specific issue.
And you think about that, I mean, the secession of an entire tribe is a significantly big deal.
Yeah. But that gives you,
an idea.
Of the scale.
Of the scale we're dealing with here. Mm-hmm. Constellations were called all over the world to deal with the stargazers moving to the beast courts. And it was multiple
Yes.
That word.
Constellations?
Constellations? Congaline? I'll fix it in editing.
Please don't. There's enough you gotta fix already.
I haven't heard anything.
I think he's talking about the false start at the beginning.
No, I kind of
like that.
Yeah, I thought that was all going to stay in.
It is.
Okay.
Jesus.
It is.
All right, fine.
So they held multiples because they were dealing with whether they, were basically going to allow them to leave the nation, and then how to deal with the repercussions as they thought of them.
Not to mention, what do we do with the ones that don't leave?
Right.
Can they be trusted? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And will they still be stargazers? Or will they be chosen by another totem? I'm sure it's all decisions.
I'm sure they're all questions.
All questions within the mood, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's a ripple effect. So they had multiple worldwide to deal with this.
Oh, that's cool.
Now that said, thankfully, because of the lost bed of the stargazers never left, but it's a perfect, it's a great example, Now that said, there's also the Imperial Moots.
Well, there's actually the Grand Conga line.
What? The Grand Conga Line.
The Grand Conga Line.
Okay.
Could you say that word for me again?
Concollations?
Yeah, that one.
Grand
Concollation.
teamwork.
And see, the thing is I'm probably saying it wrong.
I'm sure someone will write in and tell you.
No, they won't. Let's just go look at this asshole.
All right, someone's just going to throw it on Facebook.
No, they'll just snicker.
Concollation is how I read it.
Yeah,
but
I'm doing the same thing here.
yeah. That is a worldwide moot. So wherever you are,
if you're summoned to that, you better be there.
Yeah. And it is called so infrequently that basically nobody alive today remembers one. And again, the lost meta. One was called about the Red Star.
And Delios.
And the birth of the perfect metas.
You know.
And those were combined for one grand moot.
You know, I gotta say, they didn't do it. I wish they had, and they won't now, and for several good reasons. But I would have loved to have seen that moot. Like to be a fly on the wall when the Red Star appeared out of fucking nowhere, and now we got this perfect menace running about, or being carried about.
Right.
You know, and everyone just losing their goddamn minds. I would have loved to have been a part of, to just be a fly on the wall for that, you know, and just seen that scene or read that scene or whatever.
Yeah, but that was why one grand concollation was called. And that was it. But yeah, that's the level it takes to call one of those. And it's, if you're on this planet, you're expected to attend. You know, the only way you get a pass is if you're in space.
In which case,
you better land that spaceship and attend the friggin' moot.
Someone have a tribal totem of a fucking spaceship?
I don't know, maybe they do.
Yeah, that's fucking General Lee.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it.
So, you know, anything's
Here's a silver platter.
Okay, now on to the Imperial Moots.
Well, thank you.
Anytime. I just figured you were jumping over that one.
Oh, I figured that was going to be after this one, because theoretically, Imperial Moots are more frequent.
Oh, well, yes.
So the Grand Constellations are the highest of all order, and you skipped the Imperial ones. Now it's your fault.
There's an argument to be made.
Okay.
See, the Imperial Moots are called only by Silver Fang Kings, and only in the most critical times. There have been less than 20 in all of history.
Okay. They give any examples of when one was called?
Oh, actually, the last one was in 1855.
Holy shit.
Which, if memory serves, was when they dealt with the Eater of Storms.
Okay.
Or the Storm Eater, excuse me.
Okay.
So that's the threat significant enough to bring that about. And that's about all I got on them. It's
that infrequent.
Well,
less than 20. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know if the Grand Constellation is...
Which are we considering a bigger deal?
And which one's more rare?
Right. So...
Yes.
I get where you went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time.
Okay.
Which is the bigger deal? I guess if you're in a Silver Fang, it doesn't matter about the Imperial Moot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're about to fight the Storm Eater back in time, or a Running Wild West, I don't know. But those are the different. And that's
again, a Wild West campaign could deal with that.
Absolutely. Hell, you could bring them back.
Yeah.
I wanted to for a while, but
nice.
So that might be in your guys' future.
No.
Because I think that's neat. But that's not even it.
It's a future problem.
Maybe. It's not even it for Moots, though, because, the different tribes, they have, and not necessarily all of them, but there are other types of Moots brought to us by various tribes.
Yes.
And I know that you both knew that.
Yes, we did.
I have to suspect that there might be some people here with some things to say about it. Danny?
Took a couple notes on a couple of tribes.
I thought you might have. I thought you might have. I might
picked a couple of them.
Might have read your maps. What you got for us, Mr. Tyson?
You always yell at me for getting away from your maps.
Yeah.
Why are my maps aren't important to you?
No, I'm a storyteller.
All of the maps are his maps.
Yeah, fine. Here you go. Here's my notes, Porter. Go ahead and tell them what they got.
All right. It says pick up kitty litter, eggs, bread. What is this?
Sorry, wrong list.
Oh, okay.
All right. No, I picked a couple tribes just so, this wasn't too much research for today, but like glasswalkers. Like their moots are, you've already said, they're more like in a boardroom.
A business meeting.
Yeah, they're business meetings. But everything I kept reading, it very much reminded me of like Wise Guys. Like Wise Guy movies. Untouchables. Everyone's at a table. Everyone's discussing what's going on. And all of a sudden one guy gets bashed in the back of the head because he was the traitor all along. Or something along those lines. They even talk about having like bare knuckle boxing matches.
The little Fight Club flavor.
Yeah, a little Fight Club. And then to me, I see like some of the guys in suits all making bets on the fights.
I could see that.
Very, very Fight Club.
Yeah, I could see it too.
Yeah.
I just, not only that, but there were a few that were so super specific. It was on the 23rd of each month at 12:37 a.m. for the Glasswalkers. And that was because, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Dave in accounting?
Dave in accounting.
Sure. They gave a specific name and I don't remember. But it was that night specifically because it was lucky to them. There was an attack at the cairn while they were holding a moot. So they had all their defense already there to take care of it.
It's good timing.
So and ever since then they continue it at the 23rd of each month at 12:37 a.m. I just thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
No, that is cool. Oh, what else you got, Tyler Durden?
Tyson.
Yeah, it was
Tyler,
trying to, yeah,
almost.
Yeah,
Almost.
I'm reaching a bit, but I'm not sorry.
No, I didn't figure you would be. The other one I picked was the Get.
Okay.
There wasn't a crazy amount there, but usually, and I know we haven't talked about it just yet, but the list, the
Dangerous Don't list?
No.
Oh, okay.
The different...
I don't know what you're doing. He's doing weird hand signals.
He's making shelves, platforms.
He's showing us his...
He gave us the finger.
Mimery.
Keep going. We'll help.
Trying.
Context clues. Give us something.
The summons, opening howl, inner sky, crackling the bone, stories, revel, aftermath.
All right, those are the others.
Chronology.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So, yes, we didn't really talk about the chronology of the mood itself, but as far as the get-go, they most of them their discussions are definitely for preparing for battle.
Okay.
But their opening howl, they love praising Fenris.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to go into the chronology of a moot?
We can. I've got a couple tribes here. Differences moots as well, but...
Do we want to cover the chronology and then finish our tribes?
I suppose we can.
And, let everybody know, what's involved in a moot?
Okay.
Well, the first is the summons.
Okay.
Calling all the Garou within that vicinity.
Just letting them know, hey, what's up?
Yeah, time for the moot. Let's go.
It's a moot alarm clock.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And once everybody gathers in the assembly area,
right,
then they have the opening howl.
Yeah, but even before that, there's usually friendly challenges. While they're waiting for that howl, there might be some wrestling matches or.
Well, everybody's getting together, shooting the shit.
Right.
They're passing the time waiting for everybody to get there.
Yeah.
So.
I was reading one. There were some challenges for the good seats.
Well, yeah. And again, that depends on your tribe.
Right.
Because, the more, I don't want to say violent because they're all violent.
Mm-hmm.
But the more warlike and, you know, the Furies, they're gonna solve it with, you know, a fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the children, they might solve it by seniority, or, you know, definitely Glasswalkers solve it by seniority.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so there's different ways of going about getting, quote, the good seats.
I just thought it was funny in there.
Yeah. And then there's the opening howl.
Right.
Which can be singular if you're near a populated area. You probably don't want, you know,
everybody hearing.
Everybody howling, but it can be.
Yeah. There's other ones where as soon as that opening howl happens, everybody joins in.
But there's some where you better not.
Right. You once it happens, you sit down, shut up.
Yeah. So, what do you say about that, Porter?
Well, you guys just said it, so nothing.
Well, no.
You had something though.
Well, you just said it.
Sit down, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking earlier, and you said don't be the second one to howl.
Right. You know, if you're at if you know, as a player, mm-hmm. if you're at a moot, you're in an unfamiliar location, shut up.
Don't be the second one to howl.
No. Because if that's not what they do there, you're the asshole. And
yeah.
that punishment might be a cuff in the back of the head. It might be something else. You don't know what to do. Just make sure you're not the second one to do anything.
If everyone else starts doing it, then go ahead and join in.
Exactly.
It might actually be a good idea to join in. But not until then.
Okay, so what's the next part of the move?
Well, from then we go to the inner sky.
Okay.
And this is the part of the move where we... it's about honoring and strengthening the Cairn totem. Mm-hmm. And this one is about the Caller of the Wild, mm-hmm. Where, you know, at the opening howl, that would be the Master of the Howl. But the Caller of the Wild handles the inner sky. And what that looks like is different no matter what sept you're in, mm-hmm. because every sept has a different totem.
Right.
Right.
And, so, you know, what it takes to appease Owl isn't going to cut it with Fenris.
Right.
So... what you're going to do there is you want, the idea behind that is you want a representation, you know, an avatar of the totem to appear.
Okay.
At which point you ask it for its blessing. Now, how you go about that...
different per totem.
Different per totem. How you go about asking, different per totem. Mm-hmm. And so as a storyteller, you know, you want to keep a material and spiritual correspondence in mind.
Yeah.
You know, you get someone like Fenris or Boar, for example, mm-hmm. you know, maybe a little ritual fist fight or a blood sacrifice or something would be in order. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that Unicorn would frown on those things.
Yes. So is this when they give the totem the gift of Gnosis?
Sometimes that happens later as well, strength of the Cairn.
Okay.
But Gnosis is fed into the Cairn throughout the moot, you know, and that's a tricky thing to say, you know. It's like, because how do you give, you know, you give Gnosis? I'm going to think a lot about how much I love Gaia in you. Fuck. But, you know, it's traditionally here or during the revel. We'll get to that.
Right.
But that is the end.
That is the end.
But, you know, again, it's for a storyteller. Mm-hmm. You know, this can be the hardest part.
Okay.
Because, you know, depending on how comfortable you are with spirits, and again, those correspondences, what it's going to take, and describing their majesty. And while we're at it, Moot is going to happen, again, roughly on the monthly at your sept. Mm-hmm. You need to come up with a way to either keep your pack busy enough that they're not there for a lot of moots.
Yeah.
Or, and, you know, make sure that every time that the totem shows up, it's important. It's majestic. You don't ever want to get bored in an avatar of Fenris.
Oh, God.
No way.
You know, goddamn Griffin shows up and you're like, oh, it's him again. That's never the attitude that your players should have. And from a player perspective, this is a time for quiet and reflection and, you know, getting into the spirit of the moot. You know, but this is not a time for you to be talking.
Yeah.
So, again, just sit there and enjoy the show. This is not about you.
Now, what if we bring up, you know, our sept, Sweet Summer Rain. Okay. Yes, no? Yes?
If you must.
Okay. And our sept totem was Kinderheart.
Which is nothing.
Okay.
It's not a real thing.
It's it's a homebrew one. But I think it's important because it's almost got two forms. Oh. It really does have two forms.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's the winter solstice and then the summer solstice. And you've made it very apparent for each of those moots when those happened, the differences between the two forms.
Yes.
And yes, it's a homebrewed one, but I think that's important because the one being the rage totem, correct?
No, but it is. It's a war totem.
War totem. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So, but yes, it is a more aggressive, more rage-influenced environment.
And then the other being more of like a peaceful.
Yes.
Okay.
It's that duality. You have the masculine and the feminine.
There you go.
The love and hate, the war and peace. There's the duality there.
Right.
It's spiritual versus physical.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there's the two moots, in fact, on the solstices that help where she changes forms.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And you've brought enough detail into both of those where we can tell there's a difference of what's going on right now and how important that is at that time.
Well, and you've been to one of each.
Yes.
Right? Okay. You haven't, Joey.
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Were you at both?
Yeah.
Over the years,
players.
or just a random
coincidence?
I was going to say as different players, but yeah.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say, what?
No.
What a weird coincidence.
It's one of those things like they have the monthly moods. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, they do.
Right.
And then they have a, grand sept, moot on those solstices. So it's a bigger deal for the sept than just the regular monthly moot.
Right. They for that, they opened the doors for this particular, I don't want to, it's not officially a rite because it's happening anyway. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
The totem's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they kind of made the rite surrounding the fact
that it's happening anyway.
Exactly. It's the rare flower that blooms twice a year, and that we didn't make an event to make the flower bloom. We're having an event because the flower's blooming.
Right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So you get thurges from all around, but again, that's part of. I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's a bit of the mystery of that totem because it is a homebrew. No one had heard of this fucking spirit before. Mm-hmm. They're having trouble understanding what this thing is and why it's here. But it certainly fucked up some people's plans.
Can say that.
So yeah, I mean it's a great example of a particular type of mood, around an event.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it also depends on what type of cairn it is, because a cairn of love or of peace is going to have a different mood than, one that is, a cairn of honor or a cairn of, war.
Sure.
So it depends, you really should know what type you're going into that you're going to have the mood at.
Well, and ideally, your storyteller will help with that by giving you a sense of not just the geography, but how the place feels. Mm-hmm. You guys walk to the Sept of the Western Eye. You walk to it, but you get to the Sept of the Western Eye, and I describe it as serene and peaceful.
Right.
I talk about the scents that are lingering in the air, and I don't know if I always do, but I attempt to maybe talk a little softer, a little slower, because there's no danger here, because it's calm and it's peaceful. And everything's okay. However, if you were to go to the Sept of the Blood Fist, I might speak harsher. I might use words that are a bit meatier or a bit more visceral.
Have a little bit of bite to it.
Exactly. Because you're in the shit now, boy.
He's
just huge grin at me right now, like about to eat my fucking hand.
Okay, so the inner sky. That's about appeasing the totem, making the totem happy.
Strengthening the sept and the totem.
Okay. What's the next section?
Well, from there we go to cracking the bone.
Which
love that name.
Yeah, I think the name is cool as hell by itself.
Like, I agree, and it's shocking that we're not making funny jokes right now because we just think it sounds that cool.
Yeah, it's...
Like, if you listen to this show, how are we not making jokes about this?
Have you listened to this show before? Yeah.
But this is where the sausage gets made. Again, see?
Yeah.
See, you're laughing.
There's
again,
the joke right there.
I wasn't making a joke.
That was just an unfortunate phrasing there.
See, I was even going to put a hat on the fact that I didn't make a joke on it, and Danny had to laugh.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
That's
Thanks,
all right.
Danny.
It's all right, man. You weren't ready for it.
You're right.
But this is where the drama comes from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They say arguably this is probably the most important part.
Arguably, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from a player standpoint, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because you
Player
guys
standpoint,
wake up, you finally have shit to do.
Right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Whereas Inner Sky might be more important for the storyteller himself.
Well, it's the show.
Right.
You know?
No, you're right.
It's that mud castle, that sand castle, mud being built for Kinderhart, who clops up and absorbs all the fucking water out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? Or the what is it, the hand cut with the icicle.
Mm-hmm.
And she drinks the blood in the melted water, and, you know, that's putting on a show for everybody. This is the business.
Right.
And that's the truth catcher's time. And what goes on during the cracking the bone, Danny?
That's usually when you have your challenges, any concerns, any plans coming up, any plans they need to make, maybe even justice for some kind of punishment, something wrong, and maybe even the recognition of
well now that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's freaking huge.
Yeah, because that's the time when Bloodhunter, who does not have a galliard, is going to have to stand up and demand recognition for their renown.
Right.
And if you do that, you goddamn better have a story for the next section, but we'll get there in a minute. Mm-hmm. You know, and then, rites of accomplishment are handed out,
right,
which solidifies that renown is what that is. That's a rite that says it's real. We acknowledge your renown.
Mm-hmm. And lucky for Hunter, it's not hard to show that story.
Dude, that could have been a lawn mowing accident.
There's a truth catcher there.
There is a truth catcher there.
There you go.
So, and there's a thing,
maybe don't lie.
Yeah, don't.
Well, definitely don't lie.
You fucking get caught lying during a moot, man.
Oh.
That's got its own punishments in itself.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that, it's where renown is handed out, maybe they can also take it away.
Turns out. We go back to justice and punishment.
Yeah.
And those are things. If you happen to be a truth catcher, probably that's the storyteller playing an NPC. Mm-hmm. But if you happen to hold that sept position.
Well, before you say that, could there be multiple truth catchers?
No.
No, just the one?
It's a sept position, so there's one truth catcher. There could be, he might have assistants.
Okay.
He could go, you three help me do this, but...
Okay, that's fair. I'm just curious.
No. I think there's not a vice truth catcher.
Let me imagine, the bigger moots, the more people there.
Well, sure. Again, then they might, you two come here. You're going to do this. But the truth catcher, that's an official set position.
Gotcha.
But if you happen to have that position, this is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
During the cracking of the bone, the truth catcher has the ability to forbid anyone from speaking.
Yep, I saw that.
Regardless of rank or station or anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You could look your sept leader in the eye and tell him to shut his craw.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But they also say you better not be doing it just out of spite.
Oh, no, that'll come back and bite you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You better not be doing it out of spite. You better have a reason for doing it.
But, you can do it out of spite.
You can.
Well, yes, you can. You better not, though.
Yeah, but you'll have a whole other month before that punishment comes your way, so...
I'm just saying you can.
Yeah, maybe do it and hope they forget.
They're not going to forget.
Yeah, no.
Highly doubtful they forget.
Have you played Werewolf before?
I don't come here often.
It's sweet. But yeah, you got it. you know, the cracking bone, that's all about the raising concerns of justice. It's the business.
Yep.
You know, it might be where your storyteller foreshadows your next chronicle, or the next looming threat a couple chronicles away.
Right.
That should be happening.
No, you're right. The one I got a lot out of it was, you know, being part of the litany was, you know, no challenging the alpha at any time of war. Mm-hmm. So it's usually where this happens. This is challenging for your alpha or sept position. It's
certainly hard to argue that they're at war during the Moot. I mean, the arguments get floated,
right?
But it's a way harder.
It's a way harder, but I mean, it's not the only time.
No. But it's way more often than not.
Because, like, down in the Virginia games.
Yes.
Like,
there was no Moot. You just walked up there and
handed them.
Made those other two gentlemen cry.
Jerk.
But again,
she was leaving in 2 days.
And
made people cry.
And she's like, these two have no business out there. They are irresponsible. They are ill-trained. They are going to get talented warriors killed. House arrest them, and I'm the real dad now. I challenge you for leadership.
I'm the real dad. Prove me wrong.
Now reload my guns and cook me breakfast. And that's more or less.
Yeah, basically. Well, okay.
Well, you made him cry.
He made his own bed.
Shadow thought, rub my feet. Blood letter, bacon and eggs. That was what happened.
Not accurate.
It's close.
Close enough.
I was like, give me your gun.
Now reload it and hand it back to me. Peasant.
And he did it. He had no right being alpha.
Just brutal.
All right,
brutal.
Back at it.
So yeah, that doesn't have to be. But
it doesn't have to. Yeah,
you could ruin people's days like producer Joey.
And I agree, it doesn't have to be. But from what I'm reading, especially at Get Moots, that's where it happens most.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, it's a good show when it happens. I mean, if you do it right.
It can be. I remember. I think it was your guys' first Moot. Danny.
Maybe.
Because we're on his radio, it's not video.
Yeah.
So, Danny, I think it was your guys' first Moot where Zan was doing his rank 2 challenge.
Correct.
Is that correct? Where he was in a combat to first blood with Whiplash.
That was so fucking awesome.
And see, I'm glad you say that.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing, is as the storyteller I had to, because again...
You gotta paint that picture.
Right. Because again, the NPCs aren't there to just give you exposition.
Right.
They go up in rank, they lose members, they lose limbs, they have shit to do with their day. Mm-hmm. So I did have to paint that picture of this Around trying to become rank 2.
Yep.
And having to fight someone... He really
way out of his league.
Right.
Not be fighting.
But it was only the first blood. Right. And if I remember correctly...
Hold on. The words were, Whiplash likes to make his victims bleed from the inside first.
Yes. Is Zan had pissed him off.
Yep.
So he was doing everything he could to keep all the blood in.
Yep.
Several all the bleeding would be internal.
Yep. All internal bleeding. Some kicks to the ribs, punches to the diaphragm.
Never hit him in the nose. Never, nothing. Not in the face.
And all in Hamid too.
Yeah.
Whereas with, the challenge that Jasmine had, it was again to first blood, and she finished it
immediately
in one roll. He did not get a shot. She had better initiative. Boom, done.
Did she go to Chronos?
No.
Stayed in Hamid?
She grew claws. And
partial trans.
Yeah, she partial transformed.
That's what Zan did too.
Yeah, I was going to say Zan did it too.
Yeah, well shit.
Grew claws. Somersaulted over the top of Richard's character.
Yeah, Shredder Claw.
And scratched his cheek.
Yeah, that's...
very similar.
Yeah, like unintentionally so, but I clearly was inspired by because it's very similar. Zan threw dirt in Whiplash's good eye.
Yeah,
and managed to just get a little.
Yep. Yeah. No, she went running at him, partial transformed, somersaulted over the top of him, and scratched his cheek. Just boom, done.
Yep. No, I remember with Zan's because he very, very similar, did the same thing. But then when the challenge was over, then he started to cough up blood. Mm-hmm. But he made sure he held it in. Okay, I've got it. Now it's time.
And then Butchers in the Shadows won a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Jasmine, it was just insult. It was, see, I told you.
No, it's true, and not for nothing. They did that story that led up to that decision, to Joy's decision as the character Jasmine. They were fighting a higher rank vampire, and they were assisted by a higher rank pack.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And
yeah, and the thing is the pack could have handled this fine on their own.
Oh, man.
But these kids were in the way.
So did you set them up, or did they set themselves up for failure?
They almost got somebody killed.
And then that was the thing, is it was the Silent Howl. They were teamed up with the Silent Howl, who just could have handled it.
Yeah, clearly can just handle it.
And they got Ron's arm ripped off, and one of the players had to do his death roll.
So they had a bad day already.
Yeah.
And
then Joey made him cry.
And then to finish the fight, Jasmine had to jump on a flaming vampire and stake it.
Because they're like, it's on fire, I guess we'll stand here. In the meantime, Sage got mind controlled, so the rest of the Howl are trying to keep Sage from killing everyone in the fucking room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Gonna kindly know their asses to hell.
There was a lot. I did not make this decision lightly.
But that's all not part of a moot.
No, we just got on a tangent.
Yeah.
Okay. In the middle of describing the sections of a movie.
Yeah, I can fix it in editing.
You won't. and like, I almost dare you. Because you want to keep all of it. So it's like you just jigsaw it around.
Oh, man. So, do we skip on to the next part of the movie?
I think we had better.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
Cracking the Bone to what next?
Songs and Stories. Which is exactly what it sounds like. They're not trying to trick you.
Yep. Well, this is the time for the Galliards to shine, though.
Yeah.
Or the Philodoxes.
You don't have a Galliard.
If you don't have a Galliard, it's right there in W20. If you don't have a Galliard, it's up to your Philodox of each pack.
And this is where the Tail Singer takes over. This is his section of the Moot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are seps out there where only the Tail Singer tells stories.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing that, that's not much fun.
No.
You know, like I'm advising your storytellers out there, don't do it that way. Have everyone go around. You know, the way I like to do them is we have Swingbird, you know, our resident, our Tail Singer, and he'll pick someone. Usually there's volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always volunteers. You know, be them NPCs or you guys or whatever, but you have a couple stories told.
Yeah.
You know, Dead Man Dempsey will tell a story. He's not the Philodox, he's not a Galliard, but he's better at it. You know, they'll have Jamie play a song, you know, over at the Silver Star Pack. Mm-hmm. You know, they'll make Danny say something and he'll be angry at me the whole time.
That's because I lost the arm 5 minutes previous and had a story I was going to tell, and how could I not tell the story of how I lost an arm?
Well, you have to tell the story.
Right. How do you go back to your own sept? Now you're in a moot and you're missing an arm, and not tell everyone how you're missing an arm.
Yeah, like not address it.
Yeah.
Like,
what? I've always been like this. Shut up. I lost a little weight. It's fine.
Yeah. And I had, because I knew the moot was coming.
Yeah.
And I had a story, and I had practiced it because I don't do well speaking.
But it's good to
like
practice.
This.
Good on this.
And then we lose the arm.
And
so now what?
Right?
Well, now you know what.
Yeah, true. At least there wasn't a question as to what, you know.
And that was the other good thing. At least it was so recent that I didn't have to leave anything out.
Well, let's look at that the other way, too. we had a moot where we had Swimming Bird. It was about, I had a story planned.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Remember this?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when you're writing these moots, you want to get the color, you want to get the flavor. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the last person to talk sits down and Swimming Bird comes up and he's like, oh, children, I think perhaps it's my turn. What story should I tell today? And so, you know, here someone yells out this story and someone yells out that story. Oh, no, I think perhaps we should talk about this. And fucking... Tom
goes, why don't you tell this one?
Yep. And, I mean, it was topical because it was a story about how Tom's grandfather, Crimson Ghost, or Tom's grandfather was...
Lennox Ashmain.
Thank you, Lennox Ashmain. Thomas Crimson Ghost. Mm-hmm. So Ghost's grandfather just died and had run with these elders for like 15 years. You know, they hadn't seen each other in a while. They were, you know...
Yeah.
But once upon a time, they were 15-year pack mates. They met during World War II, for fuck's sake. So he goes, Lennox just died.
Tell a story about that.
Tell us how you met Lennox. Yeah. And I had this whole fucking story that had nothing to do with this shit planned.
Yep, you had a completely different story planned. Yeah, much like I did.
And in character, there's no reason.
Yeah.
For you not to tell that story.
Right? Fuck. Okay.
Here we go.
Outside a brothel in Munich.
It turned into a pretty good joke, though.
No, it wasn't bad.
It was funny.
But it was completely fucking improv.
And good on you, because it was impressive. Because once we learned it was improv afterward, we're like, wait, what? We thought you had that in the can waiting to go.
Yeah, I was a little irritated.
So I give you credit on that one. I also give credit for Tom for fucking you pretty badly on that one, though.
He got me again.
He did. He got you.
And I probably should have seen it coming. That was on me. But, you know, we pulled it out. We had a good story out of it. Mm-hmm. You know, fight in a brothel.
Yeah.
Lennox threw some folks out the window. They're like, hey, let's investigate what happened there. Why are there Germans flying out of windows? Yep. We should.
It's Munich.
Touché. Well,
the velocity was a little high that time of year, though.
Oh, okay.
It's with the wind speed and the atmosphere. It should have been
much lower.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
You know, you lick the finger. You're like, no, that's the wrong direction. That wind speed is all wrong. So they had to go look.
It's like, why are there Germans in Munich? Let me think about this.
It's during World War II.
You know?
It's especially a weird time for there to be Germans.
Okay.
In Germany?
Yes.
How dare they?
So yeah, the songs and stories from a storyteller. This is time to help keep the world alive. Mm-hmm. You know, have different NPCs tell some stories. Have your tale singer tell a story, but have the players tell stories too. You know, and again, these NPCs you're not in Cardboard Town. Make them real living people. So you get to know what they've been up to. Mm-hmm. You get to hear adventures. You can foreshadow something. Again, you can foreshadow something that's coming. You know, when you're going to get your renown, you got to tell a damn story.
Right.
And again, that's the time for the Galliard of the Pack to shine.
Or the Philodox.
Hey, Chris, are you still listening? You want to zoom in on one of these?
I think he does.
I think he would love to sit down and play.
Yeah.
Zoom in on our Moot just so I don't have to tell a story.
No, you're going to have to tell a story anyway. Okay.
We've been tricked. He's tricked us. So from there we move on to the revel. And who would like to talk about the revel?
Everyone.
I don't want to talk about the revel at all.
Yes, you do.
I hate the fucking revel.
What, really?
Yeah, but...
Why do you hate the revel?
Then why do you hate it first?
I find it creatively dull.
What, just a giant wrestling match at the end?
It's boring.
Well, see, to me, what I read was it's more of everyone's listening. Everyone's, you get those plans, you get the challenges, nothing's happening, so people are just building up that anticipation and rage.
Well, certainly, there's a lot of emotion that goes through it, right. And this is the release, and it recharges the carry, exactly. And it's fucking important.
Right, and that's what I was getting out of it. That's that release of that pent-up rage that they're all...
The tension.
The tension, yes, exactly.
Yeah. But, the Wormfoe comes out, and he shifts the lupus, and knock some people over and nip at you a bit and get everyone riled up and running, and maybe there are little fights that break out, or people are running and hunting through the bond, and it's all night, and really nothing happens. From a standpoint from writing the story,
a storyteller standpoint, I can see why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it's boring. There's nothing. A missile's not going to fly. A missile shouldn't. There should not be a missile. No missiles.
But yeah, maybe that's like, and fight breaks out. End story.
Something. It's just there's not a whole lot of meat there, because eventually, and you're going to frenzy.
Yeah.
And then what? I mean, it's just part of the revel. No big deal. But I'm just going to describe you frenzying for 3 hours? I'm already bored.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, you can build stories around that. Don't get me wrong.
Right, and I think when you frenzy, you do the frenzy roll, because that way if you know friend from foe. Like, you can recognize and not attack your peeps.
That's true, but at that point, because there's no actual danger, you're fox frenzying, and then you wake up in Cleveland.
And there could be a story there, too.
There could be. And that's the thing. You can build stories around it, certainly.
And the veil breaches.
As a possibility.
Which is, I think, kind of why they say they started in lupus. At least, that's what I'm thinking.
It would make it easier, for sure, to explain, who knows.
A pack of wolves all of a sudden just start fighting each other. Well, yeah, there's...
Well, I mean, the delirium's going to do what it's going to do.
Right.
But you can't be responsible, I guess. You can't be responsible, I guess, for who sees you or what you do while you're in the thralls of a stupid revel frenzy.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying it's unimportant, and it's absolutely part of the mood, and it's the end of the mood. Mm-hmm. That goes on until the dawn.
Yeah.
In which case, it's like hangover day is the next day.
Right.
But
aftermath.
Just basically.
Hangover day.
It's basically hangover day, because you've drained a bunch of gnosis to the sept. Mm-hmm. You've had the catharsis of the revel. And yeah, it is important, but it's just to roleplay it unless you have something you've planned on going to happen. Mm-hmm. A rival is going to make a move, try to kill you during the thing. Unless something is going to happen. I don't care. You guys ran off into the night and reveled, and it was awesome. It's not worth it for me, for our group, for the time that we have. It's not worth wasting the time describing the fucking revel for 20 minutes.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah, and I think ending our session, at the revel,
makes the absolute most sense.
Yeah, and it's just, hey, the end.
Yep. Kluber shifts to lupus. Knocks over Dead Man Dempsey. Dead Man Dempsey switched to lupus and knocks over his pack, and that continues on. Game.
Yeah, you get it started, and then you fade to black.
Yeah, right. I think it's
what happens in Vegas.
Exactly what happened last time. Yeah.
Didn't last time someone take a shot at somebody too as the revel started?
I believe so.
I feel like someone got sucker punched.
Whiplash and Cove.
Okay. Yeah. Because they had that feud earlier.
Yep.
That's right. He fucking cold cocked him and then shifted to lupus. Yep. So it wasn't part of the Wormfoe thing. He just took a cheap shot.
Yep, he took his shot.
Wow.
He saw the opportunity, took a shot.
Hey. So, kudos.
Well, okay, now, because that's our sept, right?
Yeah, right.
And that was the chronology of the Moots. Mm-hmm. And we already talked about the Get, or the Glasswalkers, but you guys had a couple on the different tribes as well. Different ideas of the different tribes do.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave those out.
No. And I checked into the Furies because of course I did.
Of course you
did. And their moots are more ritualistic.
Mm-hmm.
And their assembly area tends to be like an amphitheater. They will make one if there's not one naturally occurring.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So they like, the Greek amphitheater style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very the robes and the, quiet and ritual. It's all very, that's how they do it.
So that's one of the ones where you better not join in on an opening howl.
No. And in the beginning, they pay shimonage to their ancestors, to the wild, to Luna, and to the Karen totem.
Damn.
That's a laundry list, man. That's a lot of shit.
They and like in their Karens, they're normally like they let the wild go. Like they want the wild in their home.
Yeah.
And they will awaken plants and have like dryadic plant spirits playing in the umbra around their lawn. And they've also been known to booby trap their Karens with this horn. It's a fetish horn. And if they blow it, it will roll in this impenetrable fog that only Furies can see through. So you better be invited before you stroll up there.
Huh. That huge laundry list of things, that makes sense why it's more ritualistic.
Yeah. And, you know, they're the ones that have, like, you know, the candles and the incense and, you know, and that's just
everyone's got a hood up kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
So, and then there's the Children of Gaia, and they can, depending on their Karen, they can have the drum circle and, you know, the calm and the loving and peaceful, or they can have a more, you know, violent and warlike mood. It just depends on where you are.
And which totem.
Yeah. And so, I mean, those are the ones that I checked out.
Okay.
So, what ones did you look at?
Well, I had different types of moods.
Okay.
Because, you know, which is...
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah. Would have fit in well earlier.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But I looked into the Actina and the Shadow Lords.
Okay.
You know, and the Actina, they have councils. Which is, it's a single sept. Or if applicable, they'll invite, and these are just for Actina.
Okay.
Invite elders or prominent members of nearby neighboring septs.
Gotcha.
So, you know, it's almost like a neighborhood watch, kind of block party sort of moot. You know, we use the word party a little too loosely here. You know, but it's where they get the neighbors together. And we go, okay, here's the issues.
Gotcha.
We've been dealing with this. Can you help? Or we chased it off and it might be coming to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, it's not so different, you know, except any Actina from those septs. It's, however, only elders may speak.
Oh, okay.
So it's a sit down, shut up, and learn a thing type of meeting.
Gotcha.
They also have grand councils, which happen once per season. And unlike the grand, it's not unlike a grand moot. But it's allegedly more of kind of like a check-in kind of thing. You know, though, you know, I'm a Garou of the tribes. I don't seem to think a whole lot gets done.
Okay.
But I'm going to speculate a little bit here.
Ooh, I love this.
A little bit of speculation time. And I would suggest that it's where some of the Actina's famous secrets are swapped or passed on to people more appropriate. You know, for example, Kasai Moonwalker is not a young wolf.
Right.
And if she dies, some of those secrets are going to die with her. They got to get passed to somebody. So maybe those grand councils, the ones happening 4 times a year, maybe that's, you know, I think I'm going to die soon. I'm going to pass that shit over there. Also, I'd speculate that it's a great time to check on bane tenders. To make sure everyone's on point there, and to make sure that some of those banes that are sealed in things that are too large to move around are also being tended to, are on point. You know, we brought up the sept of the Western Eye. I almost said Bygone Vision. That's the Fury one in Greece.
Yeah.
But the sept of the Western Eye, there's something there that the Actina show up and do something.
Yeah.
And like the Children guy, just allow it. They're fine with it. You know, it's an open cater. You're welcome. You're doing your thing. We won't ask questions because you won't tell us anyway. But you know, the implication here is there is something not great
going on. Yeah.
You know, sealed down there that needs to stay that way. And maybe, you know, the leaders of the tribe need to know about this shit, and maybe that's when that business gets done.
I like that.
Yeah. It makes so much sense.
Right?
And, yeah, they're not going to tell you.
Fuck no. Absolutely not. You know, I forget the name of the gift, but there's that one Octina gift where they'll tell you something that you will forget by the next sunrise.
Oh my gosh.
Because I remember Kasai used that on you guys to read you into something when she got trapped put in a corner and her roll failed.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
But the Shadow Lords, they have their infamous Shadow Moots, which I'm sure everyone has heard of, but what does that exactly mean? And that's why, like, I wanted to look in these asides, because I knew there was shit like that. Like, what the fuck is a Shadow Moot? Why is it so much more sinister sounding? Shadow is a word, is not that sinister. But a Shadow Moot.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
When you take the Shadow Lords and you give them Shadow Moots, oh no.
Well, maybe they just do shadow puppets. You don't know. It's not that. I'm going to tell you, it's not that.
I wish it was.
Don't be tribist.
No, I feel way better about it this way.
Don't be tribist, Joey.
Shadow Moots, in the simplest terms, are major strategy sessions where the high-ranking members of the tribe hash out ways to do what must be done for the good of Gaia.
Okay.
Now, yes, that includes who they have to manipulate and step on to do it. That's
who they have to step in the back.
I was waiting for that.
But the goal is what's best for the nation.
That's the important part.
What's best for
the goal.
Gaia.
Gotcha.
You know, look, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, and we'll get to that in the Shadow Lord episode.
Yeah.
But, and you know, in all fairness, it's true. Sometimes these things, they do get corrupted. They do get turned into vehicles to advance the careers or the ambitions of particular Shadow Lords. But that's something that is frowned upon.
Okay.
You know, it's not what we're here for. We're not here for your fucking career, Larry.
Larry.
You know, we're here to trick the mayor of New York into
doing this thing for our own good.
Right. So, who's going to kidnap Mother Larissa's cousin?
Oh, God.
Or whatever, you know? I doubt Mother Larissa has dust. Right? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Just dust in a grave somewhere.
Cousin is dust.
He's probably 130. He died of the pox. I don't know. But it is frowned upon to use it for selfish reasons. You know, it's an internal thing. That's a story for another day. Okay. And on that note, I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, certainly. And I think it's about that time now. Do we have a Cubs Corner, producer Joey?
We do.
All right, what do you got for me?
Okay. As a longtime GM, I'm looking to run a WTA 20 game. But where does a new game start? As the players themselves, like me, will be new to the system, it's obvious that they will be playing relatively new Garou. So where does a new GM start with the players?
Brand new group, new to Werewolf, new everything, huh? Mm-hmm. That's nice, isn't it?
Is it? It really is.
Like, it's nice to know that that's still out there. That still happens.
Yeah. Congratulations, guys. That's
cool. Good on you.
Yeah.
First of all, enjoy.
Yes.
And because it's it's your first outing, make sure you have fun, but don't worry too much. It's okay to start slow, and it can get weird. That's fine. Just don't worry too much. Concentrate more on having fun. But the rite of passage book is I have a weird relationship with this fucking book.
Okay. How so?
Because I hate it so hard.
Like, this is news to me. Like,
you hate it, but it's got a lot of useful information.
I have ripped it off 3 times.
But you hate it.
But I fucking hate that book. Well, it's a first edition book.
Okay.
So automatically it's like,
not
okay,
great.
I see why you kind of hate it then.
Yeah, it's a first edition book. It's like 45% gobbledygook.
What was that again?
Gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost nothing in first edition holds up to 20.
Nah.
Almost nothing. So there's that. Mm-hmm. Even the renown system.
Oh, gobbledygook.
Yep, it's numbers.
It's numbers.
I refuse to say that.
No, Danny.
No.
You killed the Thunderworm
Yeah.
Take 55,000 honor, 6 wisdom, and 12.5% for glory.
Yeah, numbers.
That's your readout that you have now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not realistic whatsoever, but thanks.
Gobbledygook.
It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's stroke talk. Also, I think it's too busy. I think it's too big as a concept. But there are things you can dissect from it that are useful. And, like, I almost hate that I brought it up because knowing what parts are useful in art is something you learn in time. So, fuck that. Just stay away from that book. Forget I said anything. That's for the future. It's for the future of the past, and you can look into it. But starting out, you know, if your reason, first of all, to bring the group together is a little convoluted, don't worry about that. It's the least important part right now. The part is you get your group together, and yeah, you definitely want to start at the start. As a brand new storyteller, you are in no position. And as brand new players, they are certainly in no position to play an Elder Garou of any type. You know, you start them out at, we're Cliaths, and you need more knowledge about the nation.
So would you say starting as a non-changer,
I would go right from the prelude. The book will tell you, you do the preludes, and it's the first change in how you...
The book that you told them to ignore?
No, the core book.
Oh, okay.
But thank you for the clarification. That's good. The book will tell you about the preludes and all, and maybe start from there and go right from there. Even again, if it's a little sketchy right in the beginning, because that very beginning is only important
for that first few minutes.
Right. It's only important now.
Yeah. And you can take all 3 or 4 kids and throw them in the back of a van with black bags.
Done it more than once. Because it's not important.
Black bagging your characters is totally cool.
Yep. Because because you're not even on the journey yet.
No.
It's the start.
Yeah. It's the font you chose for the first letter of the novel.
Okay.
Is what this is. That fancy fucking whatever, some of those, it's that. So don't be too concerned with that. Worry about what you do when you get the group together. And yeah, have them be inexperienced. And I know that there are people out there who will tell you that, you can't... Look, they're not supposed to have their gifts yet. They're not supposed to have their tribe yet. Okay? They're not. They maybe shouldn't have all those stats yet. And I know storytellers who will restrict that stuff, and that's fine, but they're also not factoring in someone whose first game was today. So... Let them have it.
The fun.
Let them have it. Because, again, this first story, even the first couple, generally speaking, are only important immediately.
Well,
they're prelude to where you're going and who you're going to be, and that's the really exciting shit. I didn't mean to cut you off, Joey.
That's okay. And it's one of those things like, if you, as a storyteller, wanted to restrict my character, I can understand it. I can conceptualize it. I can see where I'm going to go.
Right.
If, player X's first game was today, they can't.
Right.
So they have a suck-ass character.
And they're just told you can't.
Yeah.
Which is not something you want to tell new players.
No. Right. You want to make it. You want to make it fun, and one of the ways to make it fun is to allow them the crazy shit to a certain point.
Sure. You're supposed to write a passage to learn your tribe.
Correct.
I mean, that is correct.
Yes, that is the book correct answer.
But then, so you don't have anything going into your rite of passage, and you should be doing it alone.
Right.
And you can do that, but what you have to ask yourself as a brand new storyteller to brand new players is that the most fun way to do it? Or do you put them together in a scenario and you let them have their gifts or whatever, and maybe have the totem spirits of those tribes come to them during it?
Yeah, because when you're doing it the correct book way, you're running a little bit for Danny, and then you're running a little bit for me, and the rest of the group is just, you know, when you're running the Danny part, the rest of us are just sitting there twiddling our thumbs going, yay, when's it going to be my turn?
Yeah, probably getting bored. No offense, brand new storyteller, but probably getting bored.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, give these guys a story and let them all be part of the story.
Yeah. You know, and I do it sometimes still.
Yeah.
You know, I look over here at Danny and their first story. You know, they were told what tribes they were from.
Yeah.
I mean, they happened to, you know, but it was like, yeah, no, they've already been claimed.
No, I remember.
And that's how they found out. Because, again, this is a brand new group. They've never role-played before.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And, you know, sure, time's a factor, too. If you have the time to do these one-offs with the players, maybe you can do it. But maybe still don't. Because I would rather you put them together because now your characters are bonding the whole way through.
Yeah,
I think that's a bigger deal.
Yeah, not that I'm a werewolf and now I'm being shoved with these other people because.
The bonding of a pack.
Right.
Let it start off strong.
You have everyone in this together, even if that doesn't. That's what the golden rule's for.
Yeah.
Make the tweak; it'll be okay. That's my advice there.
Yeah.
Was that even semi-coherent?
Yeah, it was.
Sweet, getting better. Semi-coherent.
Woo!
Take it.
Cider House rules. So we have another segment.
Yeah.
Oh.
We used to have.
We used to have
the Inspirato Grotto.
Nope.
But Danny,
we have changed it.
It's been changed.
We've changed it, and we're going to give 100% full credit to Eric. So Eric, thank you for the suggestion. We've gotten several likes, I guess, on him saying this as well.
Okay, but what's the suggestion?
Thanks, Eric. We're going with the Galliard's Gathering.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
So,
Eric, get your ass on the Discord.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
Okay, so what's up with the Galliard's Gathering today? I guess.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Joey?
Everybody's pointing to me. I guess I'll go first.
Apparently,
you had it first. Yours was first.
So
you're first in our hearts.
Yeah, and before I state my inspiration for this week, I want to make a correction because you and I talked about wolf blood and the Garou scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to correct it from a 1.5 to a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Because you and I talked about it later, and there are several pieces that I told you that are more Garou-like.
Yes, that's what we did do this.
Yes.
It's like a week ago.
He's looking at me like I'm losing my mind.
It was like a week ago.
So like a 2.5, 2.75 on the Garou scale.
All right.
So, yeah. On to this week's Galliard's Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a book series by the author Patricia Briggs, and it is the Mercy Thompson series, and the first one in the series is, I believe, Moon Called. Yes, Moon Called. And it has a were-coyote as the main character, but she lives right next door to the alpha of the werewolf pack.
It sounds like a terrible sitcom.
Thankfully, it's only a book.
Well, it's a series of books, and there are vampires and fae involved minorly. But it's a were-coyote. It's a Nuisha, but they don't call it that.
What do they call it?
Skinwalkers?
Damn. I was hoping for something like a yote. So I could be like Howler in the Yote, this fall on ABC.
But they do have Coyote, the totem.
Yeah.
Actually appears in the book as a on-again, off-again character.
That motherfucker's everywhere.
Yeah.
Jumping genres and everything.
Like, he shows up as like a cowboy, old Joe Coyote or something. It's really weird, but I love it. She's snarky as hell, and it's just a lot of fun.
And pants?
Yes, she wears pants.
Whew. Thank you.
Yeah, how about that? Huh?
I like that. I like that.
It was in my heart.
It was in your heart. Okay, who's up next?
I got next. This is super dumb.
Oh, wait. For Joey's Garou scale.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Now the Garou scale, is that a 10 or 5? I forget.
5.
It's whatever's in your heart.
Whatever's in my
It can be, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't write this down, so we can be irresponsible.
On the Garou scale, I would give this a solid 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You hear that? Prepare to not be irritated.
Yes. Prepare to not be irritated. So.
Okay. Man.
Yours is really dumb. Sorry.
No, it is. No, it's fine. Because it's really dumb. Well, part of this, the whole idea is it's not necessarily something that inspires us, but maybe something that could inspire someone else as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's not always going to be something we necessarily endorse so much as maybe know about or it happened to us. And in this case, I bring up mine, is something that happened to me, and it's a show called Hemlock Grove on Netflix.
I have not actually watched that show.
I've never even heard of this.
It was one of the first Netflix originals.
Okay.
Like season 1, Orange is the New Black.
Gotcha.
Same, we're trying a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you had like the wolf and like a human arm coming out of it was.
Yeah, I remember seeing that tile. Yeah.
And this ran like 3 or 4 seasons, and it's really more of like an ode, maybe even reimagining, maybe, of like your monsters in general. I don't want to say the universal monsters, because then you have specific images of like Bela Lugosi as Dracula, but it's vampires and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's dumb, and I don't think it was particularly well acted. And I thought the effects were pretty decent. Okay. But there's just a lot to it that I rolled my eyes at a lot. And the further it went, the worse that happened.
Now, were you ever in danger of passing out?
I was. I think it was the 3rd season. I did black out for 3 or 4 days. I rolled my eyes so hard.
Gotcha.
But, it's got no one you've ever heard of it. Also, Famke Jamison.
No.
Jean Grey from the X-Men movies.
Oh.
She's been in a million things, so you know her.
Yeah.
She's her.
Gotcha.
She's in it. That's the only person anyone's ever heard of, I think. Okay. Unless someone became big and slipped under my radar. It's not a great show. It's campy. It's cheesy. The effects are all right. And that might be the thing.
There's room for camp, though.
There is room for camp, and there is room for cheese. I mean, we watched Suburban Sasquatch for the Patreon hangout last month. So, tell me about crappy movies.
Oh, man. And if you're wondering, yes, it was terrible.
Oh, it was the best time, though.
It was so
such a great
awesomely
time.
bad.
But yeah, so it's like, I didn't like it. I thought it kind of sucked. I'm going to give it like a 1 on the Garou scale.
Mm-hmm.
But you can understand where people might get.
Yeah, it leans more like
from it.
Yeah, it leans more on the folklore. The drink from a wolf's footprint and you become one.
Oh.
Kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And so I think there's stuff there you could get inspiration from. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't enjoy it.
Gotcha.
It was like kind of hate watched 2 seasons of it. Mm-hmm. But that can be fun too, and maybe there will be something for you there.
Gotcha.
It's not so bad that I look down on someone for watching it and going, I liked it. I go, I don't understand why, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
So yeah, Hemlock Grove, that's on Netflix. And Danny.
I don't have something for inspiration.
Okay.
But what I will say is, if you're looking for other opinions and possibilities on other people's inspirations, come check out our Discord. I mean, I'm not. I apologize for the shameless plug in the middle of that. Yes, it's our show, but
no good showing.
There's a lot of good conversation on this Discord. A lot of people, chat back and forth, discussions, not arguments, discussions.
That's something I want to back you up with. I think it's something great. As we've got some We've got some really talented and insightful people on that Discord.
That's exactly my point.
And they love a good discussion.
Yes.
Maybe even a good, and I'm going to use argument, but in the friendliest of terms.
Okay.
Spirited discussion.
There we go. We can do that. It's a softer pitch.
Yeah.
That's fine. But the cool thing is, this is a group that can disagree, and it's okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no blood feuds. No one's mad at each other. It's a heated discussion, and you might walk into it and look at it and go, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
But no one's mad. Yeah. I mean, they're passionate, but when it's over, everyone's like, "Oh, it was a good talk. We'll see you."
Right.
And that's kind of my point. Is a lot of these discussions, they're passionate about what they're talking about. So maybe you can get someone new can get some inspiration out of what somebody else has to say. Mm-hmm. Get some inspiration out of somebody else's passion.
No, this was a great idea. You snuck this in. It was good. It was good because we were going there anyway.
Because 20 minutes ago I had 0.
So where do we get to this Discord?
Discord link is only on our forums.
Now,
on our website.
Okay, and that's rageacrosstheinternet.com.
Correct.
I learned a thing. Now,
finally.
Oh. Now, why? The thing is it's locked behind our forums. Our forums are obviously free to join.
Mm-hmm. It's just an email.
We don't care about your personal info. That's not a thing. But what we do is we want you on those forums because we have our game finder. Mm-hmm. And that is a slowly but still building database of games out there, Discord games and forum games apparently now. Okay. Soon. So the idea is you can come to the site and you can go to that game finder. You can shop for the game that's best for you. And those of you out there with your Discords, reach out to us if we haven't reached out to you. We ask you put a little ad of ours in your Discord somewhere, to share the love, but we want to advertise your games. We want the people you want in your games. We want everyone to find a game, have a good time.
Yeah.
We also have some cool shit on our forums, character essays. There's, I think, a book review. I feel like there's going to be more of those eventually.
I see those coming.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a very busy guy. We have old articles from the old Nocturnus days, like some really interesting shit, stuff like on making fetishes and, The Blanket of Anger, which I think is a great study, little short story in Rage, which our Patreon members have recently learned about as they got a recorded version of that as a Patreon gift. And if you want gifts, you can join our Patreon as well.
Look at that segue.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, it's a great. Obviously, if you have the money and if you want to support the show, we have a PayPal you can donate. But with the Patreon, we get to give back. Mm-hmm. We do monthly hangouts where we watch a crappy movie like Suburban Sasquatch.
And have a drink in their hands.
Yeah,
watch this crappy movie.
We do that in Discord and have some laughs and a good time. We do bonus recordings of various things every month. We're going to start a post-mortem series of our games here.
That's nuts. This is going to be so cool.
People have asked for it, yeah. So we're going to dissect those. Mm-hmm. And then we have the NPC of the Month Club for the highest backers, where you get an NPC directly from my character Bible once a month. So those are things that
fully
if you want.
Fleshed out character, super detailed.
It's the character, it's not the stats, because the stats are what you need them to be.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the important thing.
Agreed.
But so there's that. If you like what you're hearing, what should they do, Producer Joey?
They should rate and review us.
Sounds great.
Those are appreciated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 5 stars all the way. You don't have to really write anything, but those 5 stars.
It makes a huge difference
difference.
behind the snes. It's a big deal.
If you want to write something, we enjoy reading that. It's very, very much appreciated.
Yeah.
You can think of words like transcendent and exquisite, sublime,
narcissistic,
Danny.
But they can reach out to you on Facebook.
Absolutely. I am the arbiter of our Facebook. And Joey, you handle our Twitter.
I do. That's at Rage Across.
At Rage Across. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. Danny, you're in charge of our YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. Now, that if you want to listen to old episodes or if you know someone who'd rather get their information from YouTube, all of our episodes, our podcasts are going up on YouTube.
Also, if you like awkward Let's Plays of a demo of the game.
And we do have the Let's Play of the demo, Part of the Forest.
That gets better about halfway through the second episode. It took us a while to get a good rhythm. I'll cop to it.
I think it was the drinks.
Well.
That's a possibility. But, there is more to come on that YouTube, too. So, it's not just the podcast. So keep an eye out for it.
Thank you, Danny. And, remember, you guys, it's getting cold out there. So you stay warm, and if that means curling up in a Rage Across the Internet hoodie, well, the store's right there on our main page. But you stay warm out there. Be excellent to each other. And on behalf of everyone here from Summer Rain Studios, we want to thank you for listening. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.